I'm sorry to break this to you, but we might all be dicks. Hear me out. I was playing GreedFall recently, a RPG from spiders. That's the developers, not eight-legged creatures who have somehow got access to a computer that lets you have companions. Like many games, in fact. Fallout games, Skyrim, Mass Effect, Dragon Age, of course, to name a few. But GreedFall does something quite different with its companions. Something that made me wonder, do we take companions for granted? Companions in GreedFall can betray you. And I don't just mean if you're mean to them or don't side with their faction. I mean, by default, some of them will betray you unless you prove to them that you care. That means you can't barrel through the main quest, as doing so will kickstart the first betrayal, no spoilers here, don't worry, that's scheduled to happen at an opportune time, namely when the other factions are weak. Yup, one of your companions in GreedFall planned to betray you all along. Honestly, that shocked me when it happened. It shocked me even more when I found out that the same thing can happen with some of the other available companions. But why did it shock me? Think about it logically. In GreedFall, I'm a diplomat, having turned up on this island and met the majority of these companions for the very first time. Apart from Kurt, who trained me in combat at home, these people have only just met me. They tagged along with me because I helped them out a bit, or needed their expertise on a diplomatic mission, or simply because they wanted to keep an eye on me for their faction. So why was I so surprised when one of them stabbed me in the back and sided with their faction instead of me? I think in video games, our default mindset is that once we've done something nice for companions, the most they'll do if we piss them off is leave us. But the fact that this companion in GreedFall actively wanted to hurt me, and that it wasn't a compulsory part of the main quest, took it one step further. It reminded me, and anyone who plays GreedFall, that companions have their own lives in video games. We're just one part of it. So, do we take companions for granted? I mean, the simple answer to that is, of course we take companions for granted. We pile all of our heavy stuff onto them in Skyrim, sorry Lydia, and treat them like pack horses. We get annoyed when their AI goes on the fritz. Hell, you might have even tried to sacrifice them to Namira in Skyrim or Mortimer in Fallout New Vegas. Maybe we take them for granted because, to be honest, it doesn't require a lot of effort on our part to recruit them in the first place. Sure, we do a quest or two to get them to stick around, but the most that's at stake is them leaving us if we don't complete it to their satisfaction. But, in GreedFall, there is a lot at stake. Your relationship with factions can warp and change depending on which companions you bring with you to meetings with powerful leaders. Plus, getting companions to side with you instead of their factions when, or if, their betrayal event comes along can also alter which factions gain control of which cities. To prevent these companions from betraying me, I had to put my other quests on hold and do their quests first. But here's the thing, you can't do their quests if you have another companion's quest in progress. So, to make the to and froing worth it, you have to really want to keep this companion around. Or, if you're like me, the idea of having anyone dislike you in a video game is abhorrent. Like real relationships, it takes hard work to keep this person on your side. Having to work hard to keep this character on my side made me feel almost sorry for Lydia, and Boone, and Fawkes. Sure, I did a quest to get them to tag along, but after that I kind of, well, took them for granted. Having to really earn the affection of your companion and cause them to choose you over their faction might be the thing that makes RPGs feel even more personal, making them much more immersive. Because, yeah, seeing Boone in New Vegas get shot one too many times might have been distressing, but imagine seeing him go down after you had brought him back from the brink in an earlier quest, convincing him not to turn on you for whatever reason. Of course, having to carefully manage your companions is nothing new in video games. In Fallout, companions having their own opinions, likes and dislikes is nothing new. In Fallout 4, they had a pretty comprehensive list of things they enjoy and things they don't. It determined how they'd react to your actions, whether that was whether you preferred to intimidate or charm an NPC, or chose a violent option to resolve a quest. Thing is, in Fallout 4 at least, all this takes place after we recruit companions. Managing their temperament, getting to know them better, all that sort of thing. When you think about it, usually we have to prove ourselves to companions after recruiting them, whether that's via Mass Effect's loyalty missions or New Vegas' companion quests. Maybe it's time for all that to stop. GreedFall has its issues, but the companions betraying you isn't one of them. Having to show your companion that they should be loyal to you and not their faction after they start accompanying you around the world would spice things up a bit. And it goes much further than simply wanting to get on their good side, as there's the real risk that they could leave you to go to their faction and screw you over in the long run. It adds a bit of uncertainty to your adventures. Did I push them too far back then? How can I prove to them that I'm better than their faction? Consequences could reverberate through the rest of the main story if you don't get them on your side, just like in GreedFall. Because, in GreedFall, if that betrayal I mentioned goes ahead right at the start of the game, control of 2 main cities gets passed to your traitor's faction. However, if you manage to keep them on your side, you have to choose which of the 2 cities to warn of the impending coup. Hey, you can't have it all, right? That means you not being best buds with this character has massive repercussions in GreedFall, kind of like the butterfly effect in action. RPGs could stand to learn a few more things from GreedFall too. One of the features which I liked most was that you can let your companions speak in interrogations, effectively handing them the reins. There's not many games where you can put your faith in your companions so completely, so it was neat to see that GreedFall acknowledged that sometimes the best way you can prove yourself to someone you care about is to simply trust them, which is a life lesson in itself, to be honest. Fallout 4 doesn't go quite that far, but your companions do come out with the occasional comment during conversations, which, incidentally, established Nick Valentine as the king of burns.
No machine should have free will.
Why? You jealous you had to turn yours in?
Giving your companions more independence would make you really put your money where your mouth is, or where your heart is. You could even push it further and have your companions go and do small side quests for you, kind of like how you can send freighters on missions in No Man's Sky. They'd report back with how the side quest went and what approach they took, and you'd have to carefully choose which temperament best suits each side quest. So, you might not want someone short-tempered going to negotiate a diplomatic truce, but that quick temper could come in handy if you need to intimidate a rival faction. It might turn the game in question into a bit of a fiddly RPG if it's not done right, but get it right, and it would make you seriously ponder who is the most trustworthy among your NPC buddies, and, more importantly, whether they feel the same way about you. Giving someone not enough quests to do could make them feel bitter towards you, whereas giving too many would have the same effect. Because look, no one likes a massive workload, do they? Whatever's in store for the future of companions in RPGs, and even if we do take them for granted, what's certain is that we're not going to stop caring about them anytime soon. Because, yeah, we dump all of our crap in their inventories, and yes, we might occasionally sacrifice them in a side quest, but I think it's safe to say you and I mostly like our companions. Why else would we have them follow us around during our entire playthrough? Personally, I like giving Lydia all the best gear I'm not using, of course, so she's a little bit safer when we delve into Dwemer ruins. Some of you probably built Sanctuary into a haven for the survivors of the post-apocalypse, even if Preston Garvey did get on your nerves after a while. And I'm certain that most of you absolutely tried your best to protect Dogmeat when he got hurt in battle, because hearing the sounds of him whimpering is just heartbreaking. What I'm trying to say in a roundabout way is that most of us are good people. We might take companions for granted, but once we realise we do, hopefully we'll start acting a little bit nicer. The pet dog mechanic has become a bigger thing in video games in recent years, so maybe we could have a friendly compliment mechanic. You press a button and you compliment your companion on a job well done, or say you like their shoes, or, I don't know, give them a flower you picked. That last one is a bit twee, but doing something nice feels nice, right? Unless you're role-playing a psychopath, in which case the option to kick your companion in the shin at any time you choose might be more up your street. So, TLDR, GreedFall proves we take companions for granted, and we should all be nicer to them, because you never know when one might be ready to stab you in the back. That's it, done. If you liked the video, make sure to subscribe to Eurogamer as we make a new video every single day, so there's always something new to watch. Chuck this video a like if you liked it, and click the bell icon to get notified when we create another video. And remember, be nice to your companions, people. The walls are up.